Do you think SBM ruined the game? I've never even asked you about that.
I mean, I think it's worse as a whole, but I mean, it's one of those things where I don't mind if I get paired up with people that are even with me. Like that's cool, I guess. I mean, if you want to, you just make it an even playing field with the competition you're playing. But it's just the ping is king thing. Like it's gonna take me out of my like main area to find a match like with some people maybe over in Europe or wherever because they're closer to my like kill death ratio rather than just like my connection. So
Ooh,
that's
that's a
where
good point. Ooh, I didn't
you
even fucking
know,
think about that. Yeah, no, you're absolutely
that's
right.
where it's shitty. That's
No,
what I
you're
think's bad
absolutely
about
right.
it.
Hmm. But
And
I
that's why,
mean,
like, you
what's
see the
interesting though
connection
is that
problems
it
in the
searches
beta.
for your ping though. I mean, when it says searching for a game, you can literally see it going up to the ping. Okay, if it can't find 30,
Well,
it
that's what
goes
I'm
to
saying.
like
Like,
80, and then
yeah.
like
Well,
then
that's,
you'd be playing against shitty players. But I guess
I mean, it's not
everybody's
even that they
connection
can't,
would be
it's
bad.
not,
But
I don't think it's that they can't find a match in the 30 range. They can't find a match in the 30 range with people that are just, like your skill level. So then they're going to reach out into the 60 range. And then it's like, oh, well, you guys are
yeah,
really good at this game. So, and 120, then two fucking 40 or whatever.
yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. It's like for me, it's like it's weird though because like there are times I hate it, and then there's times like where I still go off and I'm like, oh, this is SBM's fine. I guess I'm still better than everybody that's to my left and my right. But honestly, those games are probably the ones where you're joining the people with the bad connection, right? I mean, I don't know for sure, but not
Well, I
saying that
think
I'm
it's
never
even
better
so
than people
specific to
either
where it's like
left
we
and right.
have
But you know,
3 bad games in a row or 2 bad games in a row, or so like when we lose, like because we usually win a decent amount, like most of the games. Like not even trying to brag, but it's just when we have a
yeah,
full party, not
if we
everybody
lose,
plays with a
that's
full
weird.
party. So
You know what
so
I
if we
mean?
lose a couple games in a
Yeah.
row, it's probably because we just won 8 games in a row and they're cranking up the skill based matchmaking on us, and then we lose a couple. We're like, well, what the hell happened? And then it calculates the 2 losses, and then they throw you back into a medium
Yeah.
lobby or whatever.
Dude, there
So
was definitely SBM in the fucking in the beta though, because like it was I don't were you weren't on earlier with us, but it was like Fiji, Brennan, and me played, and like I know we all had like decent stats in the previous one. Dude, we got our ass kicked the first couple games. It was like their first couple games, so they're just like, oh my god, what's going on? Like that
yeah.
was like an MLG lobby. It was funny, but yeah, I mean overall, I mean yeah, it's got pros and cons. I guess more cons really now that I think about it. Now that you said that, but
Uh, yeah, but I mean, and like I just feel like it's been something that's talked about like forever, so it's never gonna. It is what it is. You just kind of got to deal with it and not base the game solely on that aspect of it. I mean, it's always an element, but just look at different factors and that
yeah.
contribute to the game's overall success or failure.
Yeah,
But
overall, I like the movement. I mean, I'm not sure. I remember when I first played a couple days, I was thinking, okay, I think when it's all said and done, 2019 will be the best one, then Modern Warfare 2, and then this will probably be the last one, or it's kind of a tie, I think, between this one and MW2. It might actually be better. It's hard to say, but I mean, I had a lot of fun, but maybe that's just because it's new, hard to say,
I
but
did like MW2. I liked it. Like I like it more now than I did
because
when it first
because
came
we
out. That's
figured
the
it
sad
out, we
part.
fucking mastered it. Yeah, we
Well, it's
fucking
like that,
got
but
the
I feel
hang
like
of
they've
it.
also like gotten into a good state where it's like there's enough maps to rotate around, and like not all of them are good, but it's not like you're playing like the beta. It's like I'm already bored of like the 4 maps. It's like, and that's what Modern Warfare 2 essentially was. Like when it first came out for like the first 6 months, it was like 8 maps that you'd play. It's like holy shit, this
Yeah,
is
what's
boring.
what's funny is like I was telling Daniel about this, but it's like so they came out with like a bunch of their own maps whenever MW2 came out. It's like, well, where's the MW2 maps? Is what we're all saying, and like the maps they made for that game all sucked. Like that was a weak point. But like for this game, Chris, there's like, oh wait a minute, let's just give you all MW2 maps now. We're not even gonna make a new map. We're just giving you all the new ones right up front. 20 old recreated maps, which is what they should have done in the previous title. And it was like they just went a polar opposite direction. They're like, okay, well, we're just gonna give you all the old shit now. It's like, what? Like, it's like I don't mind you making your own maps, just make good ones. You know what I mean? That's what the
Yeah,
gripe was.
I think, man, and like I almost feel like you look back on Call of Duty and you remember you're like, oh, maybe that game wasn't so bad. Like, oh, that actually was a pretty good Call of Duty. But it's like looking back, you see everything they added over time, and you forget how long it took them to like throw those things in the game.
Right.
So like
Yeah.
you're like, oh, like damn, I remember this game not having shit. Like actually, it did. It's like, but you forget it's like, oh, for 6 months, like you just played the same things on like repeat basically, and so I don't know. That almost like tarnishes the game like if you don't think of those things when you're like reflecting on, oh, was that a good or bad Call of Duty?
It's just the
I
whole
feel like that can
hindsight's
kind of
2020 thing, and like this is weird, but it's like I wish like Call of Duty wasn't like such common language among us all, because I mean really it's like they don't really have to do a very good job for us to buy the game, because we've always
no,
played COD. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like, and we're always going to play. Like I played the shit out of Vanguard, and it was like arguably a terrible COD, but even at the end of the day, I didn't mind it because I had some good moments. I know it was a bad game, but I still played the shit out of it. And it's like that
hmm
bothers me, because like I would love us all to say, you know what? No, like we're gonna go play like X Defiant or something else, and like they're actually gonna have to earn our fucking money next time. And it just never happens. Um, I
yeah.
don't know.
Hopefully, with maybe X Defile change something, and like it'll make them start trying again, or I don't know, trying a little harder. But that's what I'm saying. Like they could really release a game, and if they just if they released a game and there was, dude, 10 guns and like I don't know, I mean that's 15 guns. There's a lot of guns in games now. Like maybe 15 guns and like 10 maps or something like that. But then just added 2 guns and 2 maps every month. Like if they just held some back to stockpile for like 3 or 4 months and just threw that in just to keep fresh content revolved into the game. Like I just feel like that'd get a better response than
Mm-hmm.
throwing everything you got at us and then a month later not having anything in the tank.
Yeah, that
So
is.
hopefully we get all these new maps and it's cool and everything, but in all reality, it's something we've played 10 years ago. Maybe, well, you got to think some people haven't played those maps.
I know that's how old
That's an
we
old
are. It's
game.
kind of
So
that's the other weird
some
thing
people are
too.
experiencing it for the first time. So, and that is a cool thing, but it'll play different. Like you said, like the maps will play different. So they'll never really know what that was like unless they go back and play that game. But as long as they just don't make the same mistake and give us content, pretty frequently and just keep updating the game, I think that's what is remembered more than
Mm-hmm.
like what was in the game when the new Call of Duty came out.
Yeah, that hitting that nostalgia chord is just so easy to do. Like it's just like we're always gonna come back if like there's like something nostalgic about it. I guess it's like even though they, like I said, they probably generated this all with AI, and it was didn't put a lot of effort into it, but it's like here we are. And it's like,
Yeah, and
I
it's
don't know.
possible. Like holy shit.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. Daniel,
I
you have
mean,
any other thoughts or?
is that what people think they want? Is the nostalgia of Vanguard and MW2? I mean, they're kind
Well,
of
I mean,
like.
there is no nostalgia with Vanguard. That's just its own piece of shit game.
Oh, okay, I'm jumping ahead, but I mean, I think these like red dot sites that they added onto these guns that are clearly just Vanguard things. It's like you
yeah.
said, it's like they looked at some Reddit comments section or whatever. It's like, what do we need in this next Call of Duty? So, oh,
No, I'm
just
not kidding.
Vanguard
They literally
sites.
did this. They literally went through like so. There's a Black Ops 4 site in the game. There's a Vanguard site. There's two Vanguard sites actually, and then there's some MW2 sites. Like they literally did go back and pick and choose. Like okay, like they like this one, they like that one, and they just threw it all in this game, which is like that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just doesn't make too much sense because you're kind of used to seeing them elsewhere. It just seems copy paste, but it's not necessarily a bad thing.
I just don't know what to think about this one. This is a compilation of like a lot of
Every
CODs.
complaint that the streamers had is kind of how
Yeah,
I think.
and this is what we get, and I'm not. It seems a little chaotic to me, to be completely honest. They're going to need to do a lot more work, and I really hope they're not done doing work because what we got a month until it comes out. I don't know. I'm not super confident they're going to make huge changes to it in the old maps, and it's funny because I thought these old maps really would have like actually hit a chord with me more than they do, but because it plays so different, I don't feel like I'm playing the old maps at all because you're meeting in different spots in the map. Like they're not even played the same. Like the head glitches are in different areas.
Yeah, no, that's
It,
true.
it's just it doesn't feel the same. It feels like, and the colors also. I already went on that, but I don't know why that bugs me so much. But
No, you're absolutely
doesn't
right. The
feel
maps
the
play
same.
completely fucking different. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily bad, but they definitely don't play like they used to, which
They're
is
gonna need to
something like
make
the devs like. I don't think they really understand it. It's obviously easier to just do this, right? Copy paste and fucking just
Yeah.
have us play on this. But it's like the maps definitely don't play like they used to play. You know what I mean? I don't do any of the same thing I used to do. And me and Daniel actually played the maps recently on the old game because they restored it. So we were all actually literally playing these maps in the old game. And like I can tell you right now, I'm not doing anything that I would do on those.
Really?
Yeah, it's just strange. Even like if you're rushing, your route's going to be different. Like
I can tell estates like on search and destroy, dude. It's so hard on offense, I guess, to really approach any of the bombs, man. It's just that hill. Like it almost like in this day and age, like it'd be a better map if it was just all flat. Like there was no giant hill, the whole map was sloping on it. It was just all flat. So you just can't have that advantage of being on the high ground. It's almost like that ruins it.
So the question
yeah.
is it a bad map or is the game design bad? Because it really, if you think about it, I'm sorry, I'm getting into like maybe this is controversial. I just don't think that the speed of the games nowadays is so fast paced that you have to redesign your map to make it fit for that speed. And that happens with every game now.
Well, there's something different now that wasn't in the past. Like I guess before you were slower, right now you're faster, so you can evade better. But with that, everyone can see better. Like that's something we don't think about. Like remember the old game, how grainy it was? I mean, it was hard to see people in the distance. They get lost in the backdrop. This one, everyone can see everybody from everywhere. So there's more spots where you're just a sitting duck. In these new games.
Yeah.
And
Like
there's no
Chris
hope.
just said, that hill is like impossible to climb. It's like
Dude, yeah,
because
everybody
there's
sees you, dude. Yeah, and like, I mean, you come up over those stairs on like one of the bomb sites where the pond is, and it's just like they're just waiting for you, and they can see every little fucking speck. As far as the beta, I mean, I think it's a breath of fresh air, like just for the new movement. I think it's weird. The one thing, like, I don't remember doing a whole bunch of slide cans in MW19. Maybe I just wasn't that into it or something,
I did
or
it a
maybe it's
lot
because I didn't have a
in.
scuff controller.
It wasn't as good
Because
in 19. It was Vanguard was really where it became a thing, and I think they implemented more of that movement from Vanguard into Warzone, and that's where that kind of came from. Because 2019 it was there, but it wasn't as common. It was really like when Vanguard came out that the engine, or they made some tweaks, so Warzone played more like Vanguard actually, I think, than it did 2019, and that's where all this slide canceling meta came from. You're right, we weren't doing that in 2019, even though you could kind of, but
so
I
like
don't
this
think it was
makes
as
me want to
effective.
buy like a scuff controller to like actually be good at slide cans, which is kind of, I don't know if that just makes me like everybody has a scuff controller nowadays, so that's like the common thing, or
Not
if that's
every. There's a
like
lot
something
of people
that
that don't have them. I mean,
so there-
I can
there's almost that
tell.
element of, if you want to call that pay to win, just as if you can slide cancel with a scuff controller better than, like, I have a normal PS4 controller. It's gotten me through 15 years, but this is the one time where I feel like I actually need to upgrade my controller to have an advantage.
Yeah, it definitely helps. I mean, I've had a scuff since 20 or no Vanguard really. Whenever that, and it's game changing, and it helps you level change and stay on target because you have to be able to jump. Mouse and keyboard don't have this problem because they can jump with their spacebar, right? But it just helps you level change and keep your ADS and shit like that, which is like crucial for fights. Just because like if you're hitting your A button and you're not doing claw grip, Chris, right? I mean, your thumb is literally off your stick, so you're not aiming. Like for that split fucking second, and that's
Mm-hmm.
literally all it takes. Um. So yeah, I agree, but and it's like that's one thing that's such a big thing too, just in COD in general. Like Chris, like we spectate people like that just haven't played before or something like that, and they never. You notice they don't level change in a fight. Like they just walk linearly, like left to right. It's like you're dead. You're
Yeah,
fucking dead. Like
yeah.
if you're not jumping and then like hitting the slide on the ground, or like if you're not level changing, you're fucking done. Like that's meta as shit. Like I would even say it's not just it is the meta, but like everyone should be doing that. If you're not jump shotting or slide shotting, I mean, you're just behind. There's only so good you can get.
Mm-hmm.